Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Margaret. Today we're going to talk about frequency, which is linked to numerology. So we are going to do something which is quite more educative and more fun, but also I hope it gives you some type of guidance. So what I wanted to discuss with you today is knowing your own frequency and also the frequency of the people who come into your life. Why am I saying that? I'm saying this because there are some people who come into our lives and they have the wrong energy, they have the wrong frequency, they work in a different total frequency, and this frequency tend to disrupt our lives, okay? What I find is that such people, when they come into your life, they always want something from you. And whatever they want from you is often something that is not easy for you to give. And if even you are able to give, you end up sacrificing way too much, okay? You sacrifice way too much. And in the end, you are the one who suffer for what they are looking for. It could be that, it could be a friend and they are working in a total different frequency. And this frequency could be their life path number, okay? Could be that their life path number does not agree with your life path number. And so it doesn't matter what you do, as long as that person is in your life, whatever you do, it doesn't work for you. For them, it might be working for them, okay? Or it could also be that they too, your frequency is not working for them. And so there's always a problem. There's always some type of argument. Or if even there is an argument, there's always something. But what you realize is, whenever that person is around you, you don't feel good. Or if even you feel good for a moment, it's only for a moment. And you realize that there are certain things that you do. When you involve that person in particular, life doesn't go well for you at all in that particular area. For example, if your life path number is clashing, or the day that you were born, the date that you were born, or the year that you were born, those days, if they are not compatible, those frequencies are totally different. And so let's say, for example, you are doing business with someone and their energy, their frequency is not the right frequency for you, and you sign a deal with them, okay? You sign a deal with them. What happens? The deal never materializes, or you end up losing a lot of money, okay? So it is important that before you sign any type of document, you need to find out, if that person's energy is working correctly with yours, because they could be working in total different frequency. That is how I see it. And the frequency is the numbers that they live by. It could be the day that they are born is not right for you. It could be that the date that they were born is also not right. Let's say you were born on the 2nd. Someone who is born on a certain day, which, let's say, because the second day of the day of the month, okay, is or the week is linked to the moon. So that is number 2. So if number 2, the moon, is an enemy, for example, to Mars, okay, Mars has the energy, that energy is not going to be working, because they are enemies. So maybe you like the person and maybe the person likes you, but the frequency is not working for the two of you. So this is not someone to involve in your business. If you want to be successful in your business, you shouldn't involve them. This could be your partner that you are in a relationship with. Once you know that you can either you know, sometimes it could be the name that, you know, they are born with. The name is an enemy to your name. So the frequency doesn't work. And you could also find that you are living at an address, and that address doesn't work for you, doesn't work for your business. People who come in there, every time something is going wrong for you, it means their frequency and your frequency does not match. So that is why you always need to check the frequency. For example, you like someone, let's say for a relationship, and you really like them. Maybe they're attractive, whatever you think of them, or you want to, there's a certain persona you want to live up to, and you feel this is the person who can actually bring you what you are looking for. But it could also be that this person you hope to have this relationship with has not got the right frequency for you. You could decide to, you know, move in with them, do whatever you want with them. But you find out that once you move out with them, your life starts to go down south. Down south here in England or in the UK, we say it's just not going right for you. Everything seemed to be okay from the beginning. But once you are living with them, you have to understand their energy and their frequency begins to magnify. You know, it begins to magnify, and it is bigger because they start draining you of your energy. So their frequency is crushing your frequency. So don't live a certain life that some people are expecting you to live, or you feel you want to be with someone. It could also be that you are in a relationship with someone whose energy is not going to be successful for you when it comes to having children. So maybe there's nothing wrong with you about having children, but because your frequency and their frequency doesn't work, it could be the day they were born, the day of the week that they were born, could be that frequency maybe not working for you. It could be the date of the month that they were born. It could be the month that they were born. That frequency, that energy doesn't work for you. So you see, those numbers are not working right for you. So that if the numerology doesn't work, the frequency is also not going to work. It's not going to flow. And then by the time, you know, you are in that relationship with that person for maybe for people to know that, you know, you have this, you have that. And what you really want maybe is having children. But because the numbers of that, you know, energy is not working right for you, you end up in that relationship, you have no children. And then you think there's something wrong with you. You might go to the clinic, you know, to find out, and they'll tell you there's nothing wrong with you, you know, and maybe there's nothing wrong with the other person. It's just that your frequency doesn't match. The numerology is not working for you. It could, as I'm saying, it could be the house you live in. It could even be the energy of the house, you know, can go against you. It could also be that the person in particular, if they have, if even their own frequency is working against them and they don't correct it, that's going to be magnetized to yours and magnified, and your life is going to be much worse. And for example, if you also have some numbers within your own birth chart, you know, that is not right for you, you need to find that balance, you know. Once you find that balance within your own life, because if you're not balanced out, you know, within your own frequency, it could be that anybody who comes into your life, you are attracting the wrong people because your own frequency is not rightly balanced. It could be that when you're doing business, you don't have the right business name. And so the energy of the name of the business is not working for you. Okay? And so you attract the people with that number, and if that number is working against you, whoever comes, they are going to, you know, because let's say, for example, people say that number 8 is if you want it as a business number, it's going to bring you a lot of money because number 8 stands for power. Okay? And number 8 has its own challenges. And so if you are trying to do business, for example, if you have a different numerology to number 8, or it could also be that your date of birth, or your month of birth or whatever, can add up to an 8. But if those 8 are enemies, it is going to work against you. So anybody who comes into your life who has an 8, because that 8 that you already have in your own birth chart is working against you already. And so you go and bring someone who also has an 8. So when that person who has that 8, sorry about the dog barking, because this is what we are facing here. When the person who comes into your life who also has an 8, it could be that that 8 could be the month they were born or the day they were born. Immediately that other 8 comes into your life, they are going to just mess everything for you. Yeah, sorry about the noisy dog. So let's say if the person, your own life, number 8, let's say you were born on the 7th, okay, and you are a life path number 1. So that is 1 and 7, that's an 8. So this could be numbers that is working. For example, it's not working right for you. So it's the wrong 8, okay, because the 7 comes with its own challenges. So for you being a number 1 in something, it has its own challenges. Okay, so what you need to understand is your own frequency is not rightly balanced for you. So you don't want someone who also has an 8, because if that person has an 8, so you have a double 8. So it means if you're doing anything financially, it's not going to work for you. You need to balance that 8, which means that you either have to change your name, or you have to change something about, whatever you are doing, or you have to find a right business name that will be more effective for you. Okay. And you don't want to, bring someone into your life who also have an 8. If they are born on the, 8th day of the month, for example, or they have anything to do with 8, or the 8th month of the year, okay, there's still a strong 8 there, or they happen to be a life path number 8. So as long as your 8 is working against you already, whether someone is in it or not, and now you go and you bring someone else who also has that 8, so you have to understand your problem is double than before. At first you had your own problem with the 8. You were struggling with life when it comes to money, but you realize that when those people in your life, when they are there, we are talking about business. When those people are in your life, where that, whatever that 8 means for you, because that 8 is a problem, when those people with those same numbers, come into your life, I'm telling you, you will never progress in that particular area of your life. Everything could be okay, but if you're wanting to do a business and the 8 is fighting against you already on your own, and you bring someone who has got the 8 in their life path, or in their date, something, your date of birth or something, or whatever it is, you have to understand you have the one problem for yourself. Now it's doubled, because they are coming to what you see that all the time. It doesn't matter what you do, you can never progress when such people are in your life, because their frequency don't work for you. Okay, their frequency is working. It could be that their frequency is working against them, so they need you to balance things out for them. And if yours is already working against you, so once they are in your life, it's just going to make life even worse for you. But you don't have to hate these people. Sometimes it's because they don't know what you're doing, and if they are not aware of this, maybe they feel like life is not going well for them, so they need someone to help them. And you are also in their life. You have to understand that maybe yours is also working against them, so they hate you. You know what I mean? You don't know what is going on, but you hate each other. But you maybe you don't want to admit it, or for, you know, you think, oh, I've invested a lot in this business, whatever, and things are not going right for me. So what am I going to do? Sometimes you need to check the frequency. Check the frequency. What can I do differently? Maybe you need to remove certain people in your business. If it's a relationship, maybe you need to break up with the person. Okay, because you cannot change, if you can't change whatever about you for them, if you don't think it's worth it, you don't have to. Sometimes it's your name. The energy of your name also can determine who to, you know, do business with, who not to do business with. Okay, so if you either want to change your name, you could change your name for it to, for if you want to keep the same person that you're doing business with. But of course, if the business is not working, why do you want to keep them anyway? If it's a partner and you feel you can't, you know, change their name, or you can't change your name for one reason or the other, you have to ask yourself, is this the person to go, you know, keep going with? Because if they are willing to change something, you know, change those numbers, because it could be that they could change, it's not the personality they have to change, but it could be that if they change their name or they change something about them, their energy may start working for you, but it might take a while. Okay, if it's up to you, or it could change, but most of the time it could be that you have to change your name. But if you change your name and it still doesn't work with that person because of anything, you know, you have to understand, you need to check the frequency. And, you know, I urge you not to hate the other person, because maybe their own frequency is working against them. Their own numerology is working against them. And so they haven't found a way to balance it out, just like you haven't found a way to balance your own frequency. And so, you know, you need to be a bit, you know, sympathetic to them, and know that, you know, people will come to you for help. You know, whether you are the one to help them or not, people will come to you for help, or they may want to use you, okay, or they want to abuse you. Some people are aware of what you're doing, and it could also be that they know that, you know, being around you hasn't really helped you, but it's helping them, and so they're not bothered. They are not bothered what the, you know, consequences. So I urge you to check the frequency. It could be the frequency of the building you're working in. It could be the frequency of the house you're working in. It could be the frequency of your own energy, your own date of birth, the month of birth, the day of birth. Okay, these are the energy to do with numerology that I want you to pay attention to, because some numbers don't work for you, even on your own. So it could be that you'll have to change your name. If you're doing business, make sure the business corresponds with your own energy. Okay, and if it doesn't correspond with your own energy, you have to understand you may incur a lot of problems, because if that particular name you're working with doesn't, the name you're working under doesn't work for you, the frequency is not right for you. And so if, let's say, it's the wrong frequency for you, you may attract all the people you may attract, legally, it's not going to work for you, because the number itself of the business is not working right for you. And so if you have those people in your life as well, it's also not going to end up well for you. So I'll always urge you to check the frequency, check which numbers work for you. Because there could be that you could go to a certain house, and when you go to that house, you feel so comfortable there, and you feel like, oh my God, I feel at home here. I, for one, I had an apartment some time ago, and in this apartment, I didn't do anything over the top with it. I just, decorated it as very simple as possible, because I knew that if I'm moving out, I'll have to put everything back. So I just worked with the colors there. And I thought, well, eventually I'll move out of this place. But, you know, at that time, I didn't realize it. I had not even gone into numerology or any of this astrology things that I know now. But looking back, I realized that that flat or that apartment that I live corresponded with my life path number. And I tell you folks, I was the happiest in my life in that apartment. And that was the apartment where I established a lot of things in my life. Whatever I wanted to do, I just did it just like that. I mean, at first it never occurred to me that I was living in the life path number for myself. I didn't realize that address that I had, the apartment that I lived in, it was so simple. But anyone who came to that apartment, they thought I was living in the best place on the planet. I thought, just simple flat. But there you go. People saw it like it's the top. And I'm telling you, I just had a sofa and my TV there with just a bit of flowers. That was it. But I suppose when people came to visit me, they realized that the place suited me because that worked with my energy. It worked with my energy. I was so happy there. And folks, let me tell you, this is not a joke. Whatever I wanted to achieve, all the things I wanted to achieve, I achieved a lot of it there. Whatever I wanted to establish, I did it I gained it there. When I was in that apartment, I was like super mega confident. Like, you know, the confidence of the sun is right on top of me. That's how confident I was. Anything I wanted, I just wasn't afraid. I could just do it. When I was living in that particular flat. I also realized that I also lived in another house, which also corresponds with my life path, because that number corresponds with that same life path. And I was so happy there. I was able to do the things I wanted to do, and that those houses had some, you know, numbers that also linked to my ruling planet. And so I was so calm there. You see, at first I never thought of any of these things, but as years and time have gone by, with all the knowledge I've acquired, I just thought I need to share it with you because the frequency worked for me. And then when I went to another house where the frequency didn't work for me, I myself, it clicked at some point, because at that time I got into numerology, spirituality, and I knew for one reason or the other, I know one particular number was working against me. And if I didn't do anything about it, you know, I'm telling you, my health went down. Everything that I had from the apartment that made me, like, gave me all the best things on the planet. I went from that good and went to this house, this building that worked against me, because the numbers in those, you know, house, although those numbers were working against me already, okay, they were working against me already, because I could see that there were some numbers which was already in my birth chart. Those numbers were working against me already. And so now that I was living at an address which has the same numbers, my God, what am I going to do? I have to move out from this place. What am I going to do? And I realized that it wasn't just not the house, but it was other things as well. But I had to change my life. And once I moved out, oh my goodness, I could see my health was 10 times better within 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm telling you, 2 weeks. I was like, why was I waiting? And then 2 weeks, I moved to another house, a house where also corresponded to the planet where my ruling planet. Believe me, within 2 weeks, I was looking like I was a different person. I felt different. I felt much better about myself. So, I've had ups and downs in life. And I thought I would share this frequency with you, because if certain people's frequency don't work for you, nothing is going to work for you. You can't do business with them. Don't sign documents with them, whether they are your husband, wife, girlfriend, whatever it is. Don't, just let them know they shouldn't take it personal. Because if things don't go right for you, they themselves, they will find ways and means to argue with you. You're not going to have peace of mind. You won't have it. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. So always make sure you check the frequency. You're doing business with someone, make sure your numerology and their numerology is working. The date that you are signing the document, you should also check, because that date could be wrong for your frequency. Let's say for example, is the 9th of February, something like that. It could be that 9th is not right for you, or it could be that February is not right for you. So you need to check those dates, because it could be that even the building where you're doing the thing, that the energy doesn't work for you. I know you may think, oh, what is she talking about? Believe me, these are the things I have been through. I have studied it over the years, and I can see that, yes, when I was living in certain locations, my life was totally different. Okay? But I have to say, the house where I had a lot of challenges, that was the house where I had a lot of spiritual enlightenment. So I could see that those numbers were in my own birth chart already. It was already fighting against me, whether someone was in my life or someone wasn't in my life, whether I was living in this house or wasn't. Those numbers were already clashing already, whether I had people in my life or I didn't. Okay? And so living at a place that had the same numbers, the exact same numbers, meant that my problems had doubled. Okay? So imagine the problem had doubled, and then you have other people in your life with those numbers. My troubles had tripled. Folks, I'm not joking. So always check the frequency. So in this house, I also realized that although I've had some challenges, I've also had, it's also been the house where my spiritual knowledge has also increased. Okay, so that is why I have also had this knowledge that I'm sharing with you, because even though I had some spiritual knowledge already, I feel like in this particular house that I'm talking about, that gave me most of my challenges, there was also the pros and the cons. Okay, so I'm not going to say that, this particular house that I'm talking about gave me all my problems, because the energy of the house already noticed and recognized that I had numbers in my birth chart, and then it was like magnet, just like that. They just fitted. The problem just fitted already, so that's how it happened for me. So I have nothing against that house that gave me the problems. Well, the house didn't give me the problems, but I noticed that my personal problems had increased in that particular house, because the numbers there was matching with my natal chart that was already working, giving me already challenges. But like I said, if you are in the right place and with around the right people, you can make it work. You don't have to move houses. You can also find ways and means to change the frequency of the house where you live. Sometimes you need to speak to the house. You need to negotiate with the building. I know it may sound a bit weird, but trust me, there's an energy that dwells in the place where you live. So you need to respect that energy and ask the energy to work for you. Find ways and means to let it work for you if you can't move out. If there are certain things you need to do, you need to find ways and means to change it. Change the frequency, check the frequency. Because if you don't, and things will continue to go a certain way. So this, you have to apply it in every area of your life. First is the name, your personal name, or it could be the name of the person, because every name has an energy. So the energy of your first name can also determine how your life is also going to be. And so if you have that certain, number, numerology, and if that is not working for you already, you're having challenges, you don't need someone with a name, with a certain energy that's going to work against you. So just check the frequency, okay? It's always important to check the frequency, because if you don't check the frequency, you will end up blaming everyone else and everything else that you have no idea what you're talking about. So I just thought I'll bring this to your knowledge, so that you know that sometimes, you've attracted the wrong kind of people into your life for your business, or especially in your love life. If you want to have children, or some people can come into your life because they said, he or she is bad luck. At first, I never thought of people can be bad luck. But then when you think about it carefully, if the person has come into your life and all the good things you had has gone down, of course, it's bad luck. So that bad luck is frequency. It's the energy is not working for you. And if you feel for whatever reason you want to stay with the person, you either have to change your name, or they have to change their name. Because they have to change the name and the frequency that will work for you. But then it could be that if they change their name, that energy may work against them as well. So you need to check the frequency, okay? So just don't hold this against the people who, you've encountered into your life that you've had these challenges with. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's the building where you live, where you sleep every day. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it is your own frequency that has got some negative numbers that is working against you. And so when certain people come into your life, it just makes your problems even bigger. Okay? Because sometimes, you have any problem, you could handle it, or you are handling it. Another person comes into your life and, you just, everything becomes overwhelming. So that is also something you can also look into. And don't take it to, don't hate the other person. Don't hate them. Do not hate. There's no point. If you feel you need to remove them out of your life, just remove them. Walk away quietly. If you walk away quietly, and you don't make a big fuss, because okay, their name doesn't work for me. Okay, because if someone is named after a goddess, and that goddess is the goddess of riches, and the person gets to a certain age and they are very rich, you are like, why? Because they are named after riches. So, and some people are named after riches and you don't see the riches. Maybe their date or the month something is clashing with the name. So I know it may sound a bit somewhat to you, but believe me, these are things I've experienced myself. And so I thought I'll share with you and give you some type of guidance, so that, whatever you are doing, know that it's not just the people. Sometimes it's your business name. Sometimes if you're doing business and it's not going well for you, it could be your business name. It could be your own name. It could be your own date of birth. It could be the person you're doing stuff with. If you are partnership with, if it's your cousin, your brother, whatever, their energy could be working against you. Maybe they have good intentions. They may have good intentions, and they don't know that their own energy is working against you. So, I encourage you not to take it. Don't be angry at them, because at the end of the day, maybe they don't know. Okay, maybe they don't know what I'm telling you now. Maybe this is the first time you're also learning this. So I just thought I'll share this with you. I hope this frequency and numerology conversation, that we are having, because I know I'm having a conversation with you. I hope you've learned something from this. And yes, I hope to bring you another topic or subject that can help you, give you some type of guidance in your own life so that you can make the right decisions for you moving forward. Okay, so I will say have a lovely day, and you will see me next time, or I will see you next time in my imagination, of course. I wish you all the best with this frequency and numerology, subject.